talk about it real quick.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can open it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is episode, 23?
No, this is nothing. We're just talking.
I thought it was pretty cool. Xbox is looking to make some moves. A few of the games are third party.
Yeah.
Which always strikes me as weird when they premiere at, like a specific company showcase, but they're going to be premiering on Game Pass, which is, the big draw. It's like, play it day one on Game Pass.
Yeah, let me real quick. Let me talk about the third party ones.
Yeah, let me pull up the.
I think this is the right list. So, Star Wars Outlaws, Persona 3 Reload, 33 Immortals, Payday 3. That one, Path of the Goddess, Like a Dragon. Is that a full game? Infinite Wealth, Like a Dragon. Is that like a full game? Because that
With the Yakuza?
was kind of that was kind of like a big. That was kind of like a big deal.
It's a sequel to Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah. Okay, so
it looks like it.
Elder Scrolls Online stuff. Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. Juicent or Justin, whatever that is. That one looked kind of interesting though. Like that, I think that's a climbing game.
That looks really chill.
P5T, Metaphor, and Still Wakes the Deep. Those are the 12
Flight
games.
Simulator, baby. Fly a hot air balloon.
That looked insane.
I didn't see the trailer for that. I just thought that was funny. Dude, I'm like, is that what they're...
It had one of the best trailers because it was all gameplay, and it looked amazing, actually.
Star Wars Outlaws, which I'm looking at with a skeptic side-eye, but interested. The cinematic they showed looked pretty cool, but that doesn't mean anything to me at this point. I think my big takeaways were that new Atlas game. Let's see if I can find it.
What was that called? I forget.
This website doesn't have everything, so now I gotta go.
We're raw off this showcase right now.
What's a good website to see everything? Probably just
I'm pulling it up now.
Xbox.com.
Polygon. South of
We're really professional here, folks.
I don't know. I'm on Polygon right now because that was the first trash website that popped up.
Metaphor Refantasio.
Oh, that was it.
That looks freaking cool. That looks freaking cool, and it looks like it's going to be exclusive to Microsoft. I mean, no, actually, it's. I can imagine it's not going to be third party eventually, but I mean, that's pretty sick. Kunitsu Ogami, Path of the Goddess. Hello. Looks like, stylish and fun.
So, okay, let's instead of running through all of them, give me your top 5 and honorable mention.
Okay, well,
or you want me to go?
Let me look at the ones I wrote down on my notes because those are obviously the ones.
Okay,
let
me look at the. Let me just go back to my Twitter.
So my top 5, I'd say Persona 3 Reload.
Okay. Are you going in order?
No, just not necessarily.
Okay.
Metaphor Refantasio, which I mean, 2 games by the same company, but sue me. They make interesting games. Jusant, because I'm pretentious and I like indie games.
It looked good.
I'd say Dungeons of Hinterberg looks incredibly stylish.
So, okay. Yep.
And then my number 1 is South of Midnight, because if the final game is indicative of the art style in that trailer, ooh man.
Let me try to find South of Midnight again. I need to refresh on that.
Apparently I don't think that one's going to be third party.
I watched, I remember I saw that in there. I was confused about what that even was. Yeah, I saw the art style and I was like, okay, that's weird. Cool. That's interesting though, but that's cool. Yours is I wouldn't call I wouldn't say pretentious. It's just it's cool because like I said, this is a good showcase. So there was a little bit there for everybody,
Yeah,
and
pretty good
I think
variety.
I think that's what makes a good showcase. Not it definitely was not bad by any means. I see people saying it's mid,
Yeah,
and
I'd
I'm
say
like,
the only
that's
thing that
not
was
mid.
mid
That's not
because
mid.
I was like, I I don't know what I was expecting Starfield to be, but then
Yeah,
I saw more of it and I'm like, oh, I should have figured that's what it was gonna be. Like it looks at least ambitious, but it mostly just kind of looked boring to me. Like not a lot of it. Like it just basically looked like like Cyberpunk. Like, oh, you have a skill tree. You can choose certain attributes that you have. You can, go through the game and like play a few different ways. Like all that stuff. There's open world. It's like another Todd Howard game. So it has like
yeah.
stiff,
It's a
like stiff
exactly
character models talking like this, like looking really robotic. Like, hello, sir, how are you? Like it, but just
very mid
next gen and with a
gunplay.
fresh coat
Yeah,
of paint. But like I don't care anymore, and that kind of sucks because I mean I will say that like all the stuff with like the main character walking around a planet and like seeing the various creatures looks like that could be really cool, but I'd rather just play like a indie game or something that's essentially just that instead of buy like a big AAA open world game just to experience a few things. So I'll probably pick it up on a pretty big sale, somewhere down the line. But for right now, I'm crossing Starfield off my list. But I'm
nice.
not too surprised.
Yeah. Starfield. It's like you said, another Todd Howard game. And if you're not into Todd Howard games, you're not gonna. It's just another Todd Howard game. I'm not the biggest fan of those type of games. Fallout interests me somewhat, and if I can get Starfield on Game Pass and not have to pay, I'll check it out. But I don't. It's not on my list. It's
Yeah.
people are like the game of the generation. Okay,
I mean,
so
the one thing that I did like from the showcase, though, that I don't see. I mean, I'm not exactly the expert when it comes to like like showcases and like keeping up with it like behind the scenes on games. But the one thing I did think was pretty cool was like seeing the different developers talk about like what their favorite like perk is in the game, what their preferred play style is. Like one
yeah,
guy is more like a run and gun type. The other one of the
that's
ladies
what
likes to
interests
play
me.
stealthy. The other lady, the other guy likes to negotiate through situations like that. At least says to me that like they were because they obviously have to play the game when they're making it to like fine tune bugs and stuff.
Yeah,
Like they had fun playing the game and they were able to find like like uh some nice variety in it. So that at least says to me that if nothing else, it's cool to see a big like AAA game like this where the developers seem to have a great time not just making the game but also playing. So
it's gonna hit for a lot of people, and that's good. So we'll see how that turns out. That'll be out soon. They had obviously the most to show with that, with I think like 45 minutes of gameplay, which is crazy. So let me run through a few things. I like your list. I don't think it's pretentious. I like that you are going for kind of the games that don't necessarily fit within the ecosystem of
yeah.
Xbox, because I know
Xbox
they're
just seems to be making a lot of like really stylish, unique looking titles, which
yeah
because I feel like like years ago you would associate them with like Halo and stuff like that, which are
yeah
kind of your traditional FPS games or whatever. But it seems like now they're like making interesting stuff. Where like like it seems like all the developers, the big three, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, are making interesting looking games. That appeal to a wide variety of players.
yeah. This reminds me, if anybody was there during the PS3 generation, specifically the first half, the first 3 years or so. This is what it reminds me of, and I actually like that. That's what's making me a little interested in Xbox at the moment. So let me just let me go through something here. My hype list. Ready? Number 1, Clockwork Revolution. That I think was the
That
standout.
looks super interesting.
It's the standout of the showcase, aside from Starfield, the Starfield Direct.
When the trailer started, I was like,
Halo Infinite.
Did they remaster Bioshock Infinite? Yeah, I was like, okay, they remastered Bioshock Infinite for Xbox. Okay.
But besides that, I was reading about it, and you can kind of reverse time to change the past to control the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It had those kind of mechanics with a really cool steampunk feel to it. I love it. It kind of reminds me of Bioshock mixed with what's the game that just came out, Atomic Heart. So
yeah,
super interested.
That's what it reminded me of too.
Okay, Star Wars Outlaws, and let me just read a little bit about it, because Star Wars Outlaw, it is a game that takes place. I think somebody said it takes place during the original trilogy, which it kind of looks like it's.
Ooh, that's not something you see.
Yeah, it looks like it's post Jedi Survivor. I think that's what I heard. And
does Jedi Survivor take place around that time too?
Jedi Survivor takes place basically when Kenobi takes place the same year Kenobi takes place.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yep. Awesome. So okay, this one is OT, and you're an outlaw operating. Let me see this. I gotta find exactly what it says, but okay. The lady in this, what's her name? Kay Vess, who foregoes the black and white morality of the Sith and Jedi in favor of the delicate grays of smugglers, rogues, and hustlers that fill the rest of the galaxy. So this is obviously in the wake of Order 66 in the fall of the Jedi, and the galaxy is now filled with these rogues. I guess that's, you get the outlaw name from that, but you see her adorable pet and playing cards before this crime syndicate that rule the area come calling. Then we get a swift chase on a speeder to our heroine's waiting ship. The trailer also introduces her friend, Jalen, who offers Kay a part in one of the greatest heists in the Outer Rim has ever seen. So right there, bang. I like that. A lot of people have been kind of wanting something other than Jedi Sith, and I think this is cool. You get to basically, this is the first ever open world Star Wars game ever.
Do you remember years ago there was a Star Wars game in development that ended up being 1313? I think the one about like bounty hunters or something.
Yep, yeah, that was it.
I was so excited for that, and then they canned it. So, I'm so happy to get a Star Wars game, that's about like a rogue smuggler. Like, yes. I'm hoping. Here's what I want to see that I'm not optimistic enough to think I'll get, but I don't want any mention of the Force, any mention of the Jedi. Nobody using the Force, no kyber crystals, no nothing. Just, like gritty street racing, smuggling, hand-to-hand combat. Stuff like that. I mean,
I think it would be cool though if you did run into a Force user, but they didn't sit and explain it to you. You literally run into a Force user and have to kill the person or whatever.
It would be cool if you're walking through like a city or something and see like somebody use the Force to pickpocket somebody.
Yeah,
and just that's it. Like the main character maybe sees it and they're like, "Oh, what the hell? They just did that," and then they run away and it's it's just not a big thing.
So tomorrow, I believe, is the Ubisoft Forward, where they're the trailer. We're going to get a trailer with the first look at gameplay. So, I can't wait. All right, next one, dude. People are sleeping on this one. 33 Immortals.
I gotta look at that again.
Hear me out. It looks like Hades.
Yeah,
but it's a 33-person co-op game. So it's
I didn't
imagine
know
Hades.
That specific detail.
Yes, imagine Hades, but there's 33 players in it, all co-op, and you're running through basically dungeons. uh, essentially like in Hades, a top down fight together. I'm so excited for this.
Huh.
I think it is. Let me see. I think it's gonna be multi-platform. It is. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. Dude, we're so professional. Um, it is. It is coming to PlayStation, so I'll be getting that on PlayStation. All right, moving on. While you look at that, Avowed. I think
Oh
Avowed the
yeah, this looks
gameplay. I think
sick.
it looks like what I wanted Skyrim to be, but you know how at the PlayStation Showcase they showed that one, Immortals of Avum. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I'm now that I saw Immortals of Avum, I'm leaning towards that, but I think Avowed still has, um, some charm to it.
Yeah,
And
the
then,
thing I like about
yeah,
it is that like with like Skyrim and Elder Scrolls, like not a knock against them because they're aiming for the aesthetic of like a more realistic type of thing. Avowed looks a little more like stylish, a little more lighthearted. Like the one guy that was like speaking was like a green fish creature from the Black Lagoon looking dude.
yeah,
I just love that. Like like it's just like a game that seems like it'll be a little more like lighthearted fantasy while still feeling like those games. So I'm excited.
and last thing I'll say is, with this, the ones you mentioned look awesome. Where's that one? What's it called? The name is weird. It's
Mm,
Towerborn. Did
yeah,
you
that's
see?
a. Is that like a multiplayer?
So, it's a co-op fighter. It looks like a beat 'em up, but it looks like the coolest beat 'em up I've ever seen in my life. So that would actually probably be my last one for this, and then I'll give a shout out to Starfield just because I'm interested in seeing how that turns out. So, other games that were officially revealed: Forza Motorsport. That's going to be a huge hit for, racing sim nerds, and then Hellblade 2, that just looks so uninteresting to me.
Yeah,
So,
I
I don't
I
know.
I tried to get into the first one and I didn't like the puzzle because it's basically like you have to be looking at stuff in like the exact right spot. And at first, when you like start playing it, it's immersive and really cool. But then once you spend like half an hour running around the environment trying to like get the right perspective to do the puzzle, it just stops being fun. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it does not look intriguing, to me. But one thing, that does kind of look good is really the last thing I can talk about is Payday 3. I played Payday 2, and Payday 2 is free right now on Epic Games launcher.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I got that, and I might jump into it. But Payday is a fun game. Anything that has to do with like heist, I love that. I actually just downloaded a game called Filthy Animals. That's kind of a heist party game. I love
Sounds
stuff like that.
vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it's cool. I love that whole vibe. And then that's pretty much it from the showcase. It was good, but they did show Fable. They showed a cinematic.
Dude,
Um,
this looks like my kind of jam.
oh
I
really?
love British humor, like so,
Yeah.
it seemed like right up my alley. I had somebody on TikTok actually say that I look like Richard I Ioade. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. The guy that was speaking in that
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah.
I thought that was
That's
funny.
kind of I see it. I see it actually.
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah,
That's
I'll
funny.
wear that like a badge of honor. I want to play the other Fable games because like this one seems like it's gonna try to go for like a more modern aesthetic. You know, I want to play more like silly, lighthearted, like role playing fantasy kind of games because I think I don't know, it's just like like something different that you don't really see much. So I will be checking that out once I play the other Fables.
Yeah. So, that's we just kind of went over the games real quick, and like I said at the beginning, I think it was good. I pretty much feel the exact same way I felt with the PlayStation Showcase. it wasn't bad by any means. It wasn't fantastic, but it was pretty good. Had a good offering for everybody, and that's it.
I was
Leave it at
wrong
that.
about Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, I think
Unfortunately.
what we were doing was we were giving our hopes and dreams for a great showcase. I think
Yeah.
what would have made this great is a surprise announcement. From something more, a little bit more beloved, because Clockwork Revolution was a great reveal, but it doesn't carry that nostalgia factor. So something like a new banjo or a new Jet Set Radio would have just been like, "Whoa, this is amazing!" And then obviously something from like a Halo or Gears would have just upped it, even if it was just a little tease or even an update on Indiana Jones or Perfect Dark or whatever. It just seems like the games they showed 2 years ago, we just know nothing about, and they just keep showing us more of the same, and we just kind of want more new from them, because all this stuff we knew about, there's nothing really surprising here. So I think
Yeah,
that's what
it
keeps
seems
it
like
from being great.
Microsoft doesn't really do anything with a lot of the franchises and properties they have the rights to.
Yeah,
Which is like,
exactly. And
like
yeah,
one thing you could say about Sony that they have locked down is, like they're still making Horizon content. They're still
yes,
making God of War games, Last of Us stuff, like they're locked into, the franchises people like. Whereas, like, from what I hear about Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, it wasn't really that great of a game. And they haven't made another Banjo since. And there are people that want another Banjo game. That's a classic franchise. But
yeah,
Microsoft just seems like, no,
yeah,
why don't we make this other open world game number 375? Like, it's a little weird.
it's hard because obviously we need new stuff, but it's just, you have, sometimes you want to let the past die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes when that the past is ripe for being remade or brought back, like a Persona 3 Reload, like Final Fantasy 7 remake, like Resident Evil 4 remake, stuff like that. Um, we want to see that, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
where is the Banjo? Because Banjo fits, you know what I mean? Where was Double Fine at? Where there was nothing from Double Fine here. So um, yeah, I think that's kind of what keeps it from being great, but it was really good. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I was surprised at how much cool stuff. I mean, how many things I thought looked cool, because I never expect much from
Yeah,
like any showcase. But I
that's
was
good.
pleasantly surprised.
That's good. So, all right. Well, that's our thoughts on the Xbox Showcase. Give it a grade. What do you grade this?
I would honestly say like somewhere between an 8.5.
Okay, so about a B. I give it a B. I give it just a solid B, same as the PlayStation Showcase. So cool. That was our quick analysis.